Alright everyone, I think I owe you a bit of an update. I don't know exactly how long it's been since I made a video of this car. I've been working on it in between my normal job, and time has been kind of tough to find at times, especially during the summer now when it's a little hot. But luckily I've got 2 air conditioners in here, so things haven't been too bad. But as you might be able to see behind me, the car's been disassembled. And it's basically ready for paint. I've got everything masked off. The interior is mostly stripped. There's a little bit of like a dollar-sized, patina on the floor that I need to fix. And I've got pretty much everything ready for it. I've got parts. They're sitting off to the side and then in the other room, if I can talk. And yeah, it's been fun. First time doing a vehicle. There's a lot of learning to do. Luckily, I have someone close to me who used to deal with like C3 Corvettes. So C2, C3 Corvettes. It's been a lot of learning going on, and with their help, we've got to this point. And I'll go ahead and show y'all. So let me close the hatch real quick. You might be able to see this shiny new paint that's right here. So if I get a towel and wipe it off a little bit, you'll be able to see nice new GM bright red. And this area here was my learning experience, essentially. And I haven't buffed this out yet, so if you can see any imperfections, just don't worry about it. It's not been buffed out, it's been sitting with dust. And yeah, the wing is off to the side, so don't worry about where the wing's at. It's right on this shelf. Like right there. This shelf right here. That's right here, that shelf. Yeah. For my first painting experience, I don't think it came out too bad. It's a 550, 5 feet, 50 miles an hour. It looks great. From right here, looks okay. It looks fine. It's not the worst I've seen. I put it this way: for being my first time doing a paint job on a car, with copious amounts of guidance, it hasn't come out too bad. But yeah, this car was painted once before, and it was rear-ended in the late 80s. So pretty much right after it was new, it was rear-ended. And there's some work you can see was done in this area here. So I'm assuming it was probably cornered pretty well. And the paint prep was not great. I don't know if that's just a feature of these third-gen Camaros or third gens in general, or 80s cars in general, but all of behind the bumper is to be desired. It needs help. It needs love. And there's loads of seam sealer everywhere, like seam sealer. They use seam sealer like you would use to seal up a brand new bathtub. So, I mean, I guess, but as you can see on this corner, there was net zero paint prep, and you can probably see the mismatch of colors, like right here down. Well, you might not be able to see, but right here, you kind of can. There's a line right there. That is the original paint, and then we come right here. That is not original paint. This is the repaint, which was like an orangey color, but apparently it looked really good in its day. I'll drop a picture here of what that color looked like, plus a little fade. When it was younger, we have a nice picture of it when it was younger, and it did look great. So I don't know if that was just a red that had faded to an orange, which is probably the case. Even though this car sat under a carport for all its life. It was only outside for a year, 2 years max, when there was some hurricane damage to the house, which it had to be pushed out into the yard with a cover on it. So that's where we're at with this. This Camaro is receiving lots of love and lots of monetary donation, should I say. No, I wouldn't say lots. I can't lie. It's been enough, and I spent more than I should have on paint because I'm wasting a lot, or at least I was wasting a lot by doing stuff like this. I did this, and well, it started out as the windshield frame, and then once we decided, oh, you know, let's go ahead and see if the rest of the paint can be saved, and it couldn't. So it was just too far gone, and by the amount of time and effort I would have put into trying to save the rest of the paint, it would have just been worth it to have a matching bright red car. So that's where we're at. I have a gallon of PPG shop line, GM bright red, sitting right in front of me, plus a little bit of a quart left over. That's 1-to-1 dilution, so 2 gallons. 2 gallons should get me done with this car. Please, Lord, because this stuff is not cheap. I'm probably, well, I'll say probably, I am 1,500 deep in paint right now. Just paint. Just this paint and primer. I got a lot of primer because I'm using it as kind of a high build to give a nice even surface, even though there's really not that much to be done. I'll say the exterior of the car is in great shape. The whole car was in great shape until probably about 8, 9 years ago. And then we live near a swamp and, you know, rodents. So that's where we're at. We have, and I just realized I can't open the hatch anymore. And I need to because I need to paint inside the frame. I was going to take the hatch off, but I figured because this thing weighs like 400 pounds, I'm not going to do that because I will break that glass. And then if I break that glass, it's going to sit in here and not ever move again. So I'm going to go ahead and just mask everything off extremely well. And then lay down some nice paint. Sorry, I'm just realizing that this is not square at all. Yeah, the hatch is not square. Like, I know I have the corner trim off, but this corner is way further out than that corner, like 1/4 of an inch. I think that's a known issue, and it didn't leak, so I don't think I particularly care. It all lined up whenever all the wings are on, the winglets and the wing, whenever it's all on, it looks great. So I've got the one of the winglets right here. Let's see, is this it? Yes. Now this one had actually cracked. And no, it's not. It wasn't right here. So what had happened was these stupid pins. I don't know what you would call it. These pins. They're not really bolts because they don't really have threads. I don't know what you want to call them. Whatever you want to call them, they were sticking really well. And when I got my trim tool to pry underneath it, it went, and I said, "Oh no." So I saved him. Oh wait, no, it was actually this one. It was this one. Yeah, so you can see inside right here. Right here is where the crack is. But on the outside, you cannot tell. I think I did a great job on that. Filler and paint makes the body shop I ain't. Just like a welder in paint. Or a grinder in paint makes the welder I ain't, right? So yeah, let me just give you a walk around if I can. So here you can see yes, my clear coat gun that I was using was not great. I'm not worried about the edge because that's where the wing goes. But we are just about ready. I've got everything maxed off. So this actually wasn't rust right here on the, I should technically still call this the B-pillar. This was solvent pop from whenever the car was painted, and it just worked its way out over the years. And it's all nice and level right now. I'm still going to shoot the whole car with epoxy primer first. But there was a good bit of work in getting this surface like presentable on, especially where work was done before, which is typically the case. And you can see when the car was painted, they didn't care to even take the gas tank bezel out. They just masked it off and said that's good enough. And there's just filler. There's filler everywhere. I mean, just look at that. It's an abysmal amount of filler. From when the car was whacked, apparently, really well. There's a little rust. That's just weight reduction. We're not going to worry about that, all right? A little bit here. I'm probably going to do a little bit of work down here, but, we're not worried about that. We're just not worried about it. I have since had the seats redone. So the driver's side seat had I don't know if a hole was in the back or in the front, and this was broken originally. And then the back of the seat was replaced because there was a hole in the bottom of it. But what the guy did was he used the original material from the back and repaired the headrest. So that was awesome. And the front of the seat, he did the same thing because there was a hole. I've, as you can see, painted the interior with a rust preventative, and then I painted it over with some red. Didn't really care to shade, but the red matches really well. And then I'm putting sound deadener in here, which is the Silas brand, available on Amazon. So what I was doing whenever I decided to take a video was taking the door panels out, knocking off the mud dauber nest that have been here for 40-odd years, and just cleaning everything up. Yeah, just, making a mess of things at the same time, but that's all learning, right? Let's get the air whizzer. So yeah, that is where we are at currently, which in all truth and for intents and purposes, we're getting really close here. Let me not slam the door because there's nothing holding the window in right now. I've got it all masked off. All of the decals are scraped, and the goo is off. The windshield frame came out fantastic. A little bit of ripple, but again, that's mostly my gun that I was using isn't laying the greatest, so I'm not going to use that again for it. So as you can tell, the hood paint is just completely compromised. Sitting here in the garage, I'd polish this up, and I'm sure you saw in the first video I made, or am making. It was nice, right? And then as soon as the sun hit it again, it just instantly ate it. So I started looking at it even more, especially when you have that looking at you. I was like, yeah, I need to paint it. Give it a second breath in life and have something nice to cruise around in. Because it runs great. We've only got 75,000 original miles. And this is a family car that is 75,000 miles. It was driven by a mom mostly, back and forth to work a few miles away. But all of our trim pieces are mostly up here. They're all going to get cleaned up and reinstalled. I'll have new trim pieces where necessary. I need to come down and sand the front half of the car. The back half of the car is prepped and ready. I've done the mirrors. I'm probably not going to take them off just because I don't want to worry about the window alignment. But everything is going to be nice and prepped. We're already prepped here. I have to order the vinyl. And then I will be ready to shoot primer. I'm excited to shoot primer. Even though you don't have to. But I will probably back the car out a little bit, center it up a little more, give me a little more room to work on the right side of the car because I have my storage shelf right here, so it's a little tough. But I'll back it up some more, bring it a little bit over to the left, and I should have enough room to swing around and use my longer air hose to really get around here nice and easy. So I will probably make a follow-up video here once I have the whole car prepped and I'm ready to paint. Or ready to prime, however you want to say it. But yeah, you guys, I probably shouldn't have done that as hard as I did. Just noticed there's an old chip in the window right there. But yeah, I'm super excited. We're getting really close here. See if I can come up here and give you a good shot of it. Really excited to have this gal on the road. And obviously we're going to get a windshield. And I'm probably going to splurge on a new dash pad too while I'm at it. So yeah, I will start prepping from the back to the front. And once I'm done prepping, I will make another short video. Thank you guys for watching. And let me know what you think.